Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Masterpiece Lounge. I am your hostess, certified life coach, author, and speaker, Chris Natha DeRozier. As always, we are back with another super important, super insightful conversation. And today in the Masterpiece Lounge, we're going to be talking about people pleasing. As you've already seen from today's title, people pleasing ends now. People pleasing ends now. So we're going to talk about people pleasing, the dangers of people pleasing, but also how to overcome it once and for all. Why? Because we all need to break free from people pleasing. So whether it's something you've dealt with or something you're currently dealing with, don't worry. We got you. And we're going to have that conversation today. As you join me today, say hello in the chat and let me know where you're tuning in from. I am so excited. This topic is so important personally, as well to me. It's something I've dealt with most of my life, and it wasn't until I became an adult where I really broke free from this need to please. And so we're going to talk about that today. And so we're going to jump right in. Let's first start by talking about the dangers of people pleasing. What are some of the dangers of people pleasing, right? And so, for um, our topic today, let's first just put this out there. People pleasing is something that you can overcome, and it comes from many different places. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that today, right? Trying to keep people happy all the time, right? And honestly, that feels like a really noble thing to do. But let's dive in a little deeper. Number one, number one danger of people pleasing is that um, we reinforce to ourselves that we're not good enough, that how we really feel isn't good enough, right? And so we are aiming to make other people feel comfortable. The second danger is it gets in the way of true connection, right? You're trying to do what you think people want you to do, what you think is expected, but you're not being yourself. And so you're not truly connecting deeply with others in all aspects of relationships. And that's not fair to you or the people or person that you're trying to connect with. Okay. Number three, the third danger is that we neglect ourselves. When we are people pleasing, we are neglecting ourselves because in order to please others, we need to pay attention to what they want and how they feel. And this can often lead us to neglect our own wants, our own needs, and our own preferences. So, whether we're too busy paying attention to others or because we believe their needs are more important than our own, we end up neglecting ourselves. The fourth danger in people pleasing is we suppress our emotions. I know I have done this quite a few times. Um, People pleasers often suppress emotions, right? We don't take the time to process them, or we may even believe that there's no reason for us to feel that way, or we don't have a right to feel that way, right? We avoid expressing anger, we may avoid expressing fear or sadness or even joy if we think that's going to make somebody else around us uncomfortable. And that's not fair. You should be able to express yourself and feel different emotions without the fear of offending or hurting someone else. The fifth danger we're going to also touch on today is our actions are manipulative and dishonest. Whew. Now, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Why? Because most people pleasers think that you're doing other people a favor. So, to really look deeper and to realize that your actions as a people pleaser are manipulative and dishonest, that's a hard pill to swallow. So, let's unpack it a little bit. People pleasing may seem nice and generous, right? That's usually why most of us are people pleasers. We're trying to be nice, whatever that means, and generous. But it actually leads us to act in ways that are manipulative and dishonest because when we hide our opinion or we agree to something that we really don't want to do, we aren't being truthful. It can be tempting to keep quiet so people will think we agree with them. So we opt out of sharing our true feelings or staying silent so others believe something is true. It's actually a form of lying, which I know. Again, this is heavy, right? But we're unpacking it. So we people please to keep people happy and make them like us. and win their approval. But through our behavior, we're essentially saying that we'll do whatever they want as long as they love us, approve of us, or include us in return. When we people please, we change ourselves. And we do this in hopes of securing a place of relationship, but it's not being honest. And so, again, these are some of the dangers of people pleasing. And it's important that we really start to first recognize and become more aware of what's happening. And then now starting to change the behavior, right? So that's what it's about, acknowledging the awareness, the acknowledgement, and now we can change our behavior. Let's talk about people pleasing according to the Bible, because I love the good book, right? So according to the Bible, you can stop people pleasing by focusing on pleasing God instead of people. That's it. Focus on pleasing God more than pleasing people. Um, Colossians 1 verse 10 is asking for us to, or not asking, commanding us to switch from worshiping ourselves and others to worshiping God. Galatians 1 verse 10 talks about asking ourselves if we're seeking the approval of God or we're seeking the approval of man. In John 10:27, instead of trying to please many people, it's important that we please and listen to the Lord. So the Bible addresses people pleasing. So as we've seen in previous segments, the Bible has an answer. Anything that we're struggling with, we're seeking, the Bible has an answer. Okay, so some tips for change. Number one, set boundaries. We talk about this all the time. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to over-explain. You either can or you can't, and that's okay. Number two, prioritize your need. What do you need? And if you're not sure, I really want you to take some time and think about that. Many of us, especially if I'm a former people pleaser. I've been delivered, hallelujah. But many of us, if we have been a people pleaser at some point in our lives, prioritizing our needs is not something we're used to, and we may not even know what we need, right? So take some time and ask yourself, what is it that you need? Be mindful of that and prioritize that. Number three is to say no when you need to say no. If you are super uncomfortable about something goes against your morals and your values, say no and stand on it. Mean it. It is okay. It is not your responsibility to make the other party feel good, right? Be honest about how you feel. Number four is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Love on yourself, right? Also, the next one is to make small changes starting today, right? If you cannot commit to something, do not overcommit. If you don't want to do something, it's okay to decline, right? It's okay to decline that invite, right? And so again, making those small changes. The next tip for change is to avoid over apologizing. Some of us may realize when we're speaking, we're always saying, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry? If you can't make it to an event, you don't have to apologize. If you can't show up the way someone expects you to all the time, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. And so stop over apologizing. The next tip for change is embrace discomfort. It's going to be uncomfortable saying no and standing on business, but say it, right? Eye contact, square your shoulders, and say it with your chest. It's okay. And then lastly, seek support. Seek support. If there are some things you have to talk out, listen, get on the couch, right? Get in some therapy, talk to somebody, but seek support if needed, or if you just need moral support, reach out to your trusted community. All right. So people pleasing is really a thing. Okay. It can be rooted in low self-esteem, fear, rejection, or just plain old insecurities. But it can also be a form of self-neglect where you seek validation from others. So it's something that I thought was extremely important that we addressed. But again, guys, this behavior can be changed. And so again, if you are a people pleaser now, or you were in your former life, listen, it's okay. All right, it's okay. But those behaviors can change today. And it's important that we have these kind of conversations so that you can feel free and comfortable to stand up for yourself, and also to honor your feelings and prioritize your needs. That's really, really important. If you are someone who needs help and looking for support as you navigate all of these different changes and setting boundaries and prioritizing your needs and really making sure that you are building up that confidence to be very, very clear and comfortable in your own skin. Let's talk. Let's talk. Connect with me. I am at Chris Nath on all social media platforms. But I'm super excited because I really wanted to bring this conversation and this topic to the forefront. And we're going to continue this conversation. So let me know down in the chat, what are some things you're going to start doing differently starting today to make sure that you are prioritizing your needs? All right. Again, I'm Chris Natha DeRozier, certified life coach, author, and speaker. I will be back here, same time, same place next week. And until then, be well. Take care, everyone.